أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن استنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين. So we were discussing some of the diseases, some of the spiritual and moral diseases that can distance us from Allah and which can cause harm to us, our personality and our societies. We've discussed the first disease, which was bukhl or miserliness. Today we will be discussing a disease which is somewhat related. It is, in Arabic it is called batar. Now batar is a very complex disease. It is not just one thing, it is a combination of two or more things. Batar can be translated as, first of all, a wild craze. Secondly, it can be translated as never-ending desire. And thirdly, it can be translated as ostentation, showing off, and arrogance. So, which is why we are calling it arrogance and excessiveness. Now, in batar there are two things that mainly happen, and then these things get so strong they become an obsession. The first thing is that you want to have more, so you have a desire to have more wealth, to have more material things. And secondly, you have pride over what you already have. And this pride is so much that you like to show off, you like to belittle others, you like to insult them, you like to make them feel that they are lowly, that they are below you. And because of this, you also become selfish. You don't give to those who need, you don't care for them, you don't feel for them. And the only thing you want is to have more for yourself. Now, the main cause of this disease of batar is basically a faulty idea about success. A person who suffers from batar would normally think that success is to have more wealth, and that happiness can only be achieved by getting more and more material gains. But you see, material gains cannot really give us true happiness, so what happens is that when they get something, or when they show off, or when they show someone that, look, I have this, a temporary feeling of happiness, of satisfaction, of superiority is achieved. And once that dies down, they do it again and then again to get that superficial, temporary feeling of so-called happiness, of superiority, which makes them feel good. This is why some scholars have actually compared it to drugs, that you don't really get happy, but you force a fake feeling, a superficial feeling of happiness onto yourself. And then you try to live it again and again because it does not stay with you, and you think that if I get that feeling again and again, I will be happy. So it is like you get something, and then after some time you put it on the shelf, and then you get another thing, then you put it on the shelf, then you get another thing, and it keeps on going, it doesn't stop. And like we said, because of this, you stop caring for others. So obviously that then leads to family problems, it leads to social problems. You stop caring for the poor, you stop caring for others, your family, your friends. It makes you arrogant, it makes you show off, you start to belittle others. But apart from that, it is also very contagious, in that when people see you and you're like showing off that I'm so happy, I'm so good, I'm superior, it attracts them as well. So it becomes a cycle, you can say. It spreads, not only does it become a cycle in your own life, in that you're never satisfied and you keep on blindly chasing your desires, but it also spreads to others who get infected by it as well. So like it becomes a social issue. It does not just become an individual disease, but a social disease. And the classic example given for this is of one of the classic examples is of Qarun, who was or Korah, who was from the nation of Prophet Musa alayhi salam, who had a lot of wealth and who showed off a lot. And it is written in the Quran that because of that, people started to get attracted to it, and they started saying that we want to be like that as well. Now, because of batal, now we've already discussed that it blinds us till we die. So in order to deal with batal, there are a couple of, you can say, strategies of which we can adopt in order to get rid of this disease, or to at least decrease its effect on us. So the first thing which we can do is to remember the nature of this worldly life and the fact that we are going to die. Because this life is a test, and we need to remember that true happiness is not in getting material wealth, but in passing this test and gaining the good pleasure of Allah. And that there will be a time when we will die, and all of this that we are gathering together and of which we are proud and for which we are not caring for others, being selfish, showing off, putting them down, all of this is going to go away, and then Allah is going to ask us, what did you do? I sent you there with a responsibility, and then what did you do? So, we need to remember this, because first of all, this weakens our desire, and it helps us achieve balance. Secondly, now this is something, by the way, which we have to reflect upon. So it's not something you just think about once and then it's done. You need to think about it again and again. It is something which, and this is one of the benefits of salah, that it makes us think about these things. So if we focus on them while praying. Secondly, we can train ourselves through fasting, through Saum, or what in Urdu we call roza. Now, Saum or fasting is to temporarily abstain from even those things which are permitted. So it is like we are training ourselves. Now, it has two benefits. First, by temporarily abstaining even from things which are permitted, we are able to achieve self-control. And secondly, because we fast for a day, so we are able to feel some of the need, of the pain, the hunger which others feel, and it motivates us to help others, basically. And it helps us think beyond ourselves. So it helps us to get out of this self-absorption, or me. It helps us get out of this me. Thirdly, we can also train ourselves through zakah and through sadaqah, because when we give to others, it helps us think again beyond ourselves. It decreases our love for the wealth, and it helps us realize that we have a responsibility to care for others, and that our wealth is a test. It is a responsibility through which we need to help others, and we need to fulfill the rights of others. So it is not just something for us. It is not like I have this so I can do whatever I want. You have a responsibility with it. Fourthly, we need to be critical of our expenses and of what we do. So it is because it's like, just think once that, do I need to do this? And for example, if I want it, am I being excessive? Why do I want it? Because what happens in batal is that we don't want things because either we need them or because we want them, but basically what we are trying to do is to achieve an image. So we keep on gathering things which we think would give us an image of being wealthy, and then we try to maintain it even if that gets us into debt, into problems. And this is why we need to be very critical of what we are doing, of what we are buying. Do I need to buy this? Will buying this cause some sort of problem? By doing this, am I being selfish? Is this going to cause harm to others in any way? Or am I being so excessive that I'm going to ignore the rights of others, the needs of the poor? Also, regarding advertisements, we need to be very careful, because if you look at, for example, the analysis that have been done of the discourse inside advertisements, the basic message of an advertisement is not to tell us that we have produced this product. It is to basically tell us that, psychologically give the message that you need to have this if you want to be happy. So we need to be very critical about them. Right? We shouldn't be so easily influenced. We need to be critical. We need to think, do we need this? Really? And we need to live our lives critically. So these are like 4 main things, you could say. The first is to remember the nature of this worldly life and the fact that we are going to be answerable to Allah. The second, to train ourselves through fasting. Third, to train ourselves through zakah and through sadaqah. And fourth, to be critical of our expenses, of how we spend our money, of what we are doing, how we are living our lifestyle. So we need to be critical of it. We need to be as much in control as we can of how we live, and we need to live in a balance. So that is how we can deal with batil. So may Allah help us in this matter. May He protect us from excessiveness in all of its forms, and may He allow us to get close to Him. Ameen. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن استنى بسنته